Rain pounded heavily on the glass windows of the crowded airport as Amelia clutched her little daughter's hand, her heart pounding louder than the rolling thunder outside. Not because of the storm, but because of the storm inside her life. A struggling single mom, Amelia had learned to hide her pain behind quiet smiles, to tuck her fears beneath gentle words for her child. But on days like this, when she was running late, carrying an old worn-out suitcase with broken wheels, and wondering how she would pay next month's rent, her hope felt paper-thin. She sighed, brushing away a strand of damp hair from her tired face, and forced herself to keep moving, unaware that fate was quietly weaving its threads around her life. As she stood in line, balancing her daughter's bag on her shoulder, Amelia felt someone brush past her. She looked up quickly and her breath caught in her throat. For a moment the entire airport seemed to disappear, the noise fading into silence because there he was, Daniel. The boy she had loved fiercely in college, the one who had promised her the stars, the one she had cried over when he had left town to chase his dreams. His hair was shorter now, his face sharper with age, but his eyes, the same deep brown eyes she once got lost in, were exactly the same. She almost called his name but stopped herself, afraid he wouldn't remember, or worse, that he would. She looked down quickly, pulling her daughter closer, hoping he hadn't noticed her. Daniel, however, had noticed. He was moving fast, his assistant trailing behind, but when his gaze fell on Amelia, the world shifted beneath his feet. Memories came rushing back, of late-night talks under starlight, of laughter in crowded cafeterias, of the goodbye he never wanted to say. He had left to build a future, to chase a dream of becoming someone important, but in the process, he had lost her. Now, standing in this airport years later, he was no longer the poor boy with a borrowed car and restless ambition. He was Daniel Carter, CEO of one of the fastest-growing companies in the country, a millionaire with more wealth than he could have imagined back then. But none of that mattered in the moment he saw her, because he also saw the worn-out suitcase, the tired lines on her face, and the little girl holding her hand. Amelia tried to avoid him, but fate didn't allow it. Her daughter, curious and innocent, accidentally dropped her toy bunny, and it rolled right to Daniel's polished shoes. He bent down, picked it up, and as he handed it back, his eyes finally met Amelia's. Her heart stopped. "Amelia?" His voice was softer than she remembered, filled with disbelief and something else, something that almost sounded like longing. She swallowed hard, unsure how to respond. "Hi, Daniel," she whispered, her voice trembling. He asked about her life, but she hesitated, ashamed of how little she had compared to what he now clearly possessed. She worked 2 jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. Her dreams of writing, of travel, of building a life with love and laughter had been buried under bills and responsibilities. Daniel listened carefully, his chest tightening as he realized how hard her journey had been. She didn't tell him about the nights she cried herself to sleep, or the times she skipped meals so her daughter could eat, but he saw it in her eyes, in the way she stood, proud but weary, determined but fragile. The challenge wasn't just poverty. Amelia had faced judgment from people who whispered behind her back about being a single mother. She had faced doors slammed in her face when she looked for work, had fought through exhaustion when both her jobs demanded her time and her daughter longed for her presence. She had carried the guilt of not being enough, of failing at love once, and the fear of never finding it again. And now here stood Daniel, the man who had once been her everything, looking at her as if she still was. He didn't rush her. Instead, he offered a seat in the lounge, insisted on helping with her bags, and spent the next hours talking to both Amelia and her daughter. For the first time in years, Amelia laughed. Not the polite, forced laugh she gave at work, but the real laugh she hadn't heard from herself in forever. Daniel's heart ached. He could have had anyone, but sitting across from Amelia reminded him that money and success meant nothing without someone to share it with. He had built skyscrapers but lived in loneliness, and in that moment he knew the wealth he had been searching for was right in front of him. Still, Amelia struggled with fear. She worried he would pity her, that his success would highlight her failures, that his life and hers belonged to 2 different worlds now. But when Daniel knelt to help her daughter tie her shoelace, smiling at the little girl with warmth and tenderness, Amelia's walls began to crumble. She realized he wasn't there to judge her, He was there because even after all these years, his heart had never stopped beating for her. The final challenge came when her flight was called. Amelia stood, unsure if this reunion was just a passing moment in an airport or the beginning of something new. Her daughter tugged her sleeve and whispered innocently, "Mommy, I like him. He looks at you like you're special." Tears welled in Amelia's eyes, and Daniel, hearing those words, reached for her hand. His grip was steady, promising, filled with all the things he hadn't said yet. "Amelia," he said firmly, "I don't want to lose you again. Let me be there for you, for both of you. Not because of what I have, but because of what I feel. I've never stopped loving you." The airport, the storm, the years apart. All of it blurred into insignificance as Amelia looked at him, her heart torn between fear and hope. Slowly she nodded, allowing herself to believe that maybe life was giving her a second chance. The strong, inspiring truth was clear. No matter how much she had struggled, no matter how many challenges she had faced, she was worthy of love, worthy of joy, and worthy of a future that wasn't defined by her past pain. As they walked together, hand in hand, her daughter skipping between them, Amelia realized that sometimes the greatest blessings come when we least expect them. And sometimes love, no matter how lost it seems, finds its way back home.